From Fox 19 Now, this is a breaking news alert.
Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer here. We begin our 11th hour of coverage here. We have been on since 4 a.m. to bring you the latest important information about the ongoing ice and winter storm. And we will continue to stay on the air so that you know that you can turn here anytime and you can get the information you need. Take a look at this. This accumulation estimates. There will be spots in our viewing area, Fayette, Union counties, it'll be Connersville, Liberty, maybe the northwest corner of Butler County, that get up to 8 inches of snow. Now, right now, it's still in snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain falling, but overnight, it's going to turn to all snow, and by Friday morning, that's what we get. The 6-inch line we're expecting will go through Wilmington, through the Loveland area, just north of Lawrenceburg, right through Versailles, Indiana, and then as you head south, because there's been so much more freezing rain and sleet, accumulations become less and less. So overall, it's a complicated situation. If we take a look at ice accumulation across the southern part of northern Kentucky, this particular model is saying more than an inch. Now, the model gives us both the accumulation of sleet and freezing rain. Freezing rain is the stuff that's heavy, lands on power lines and weighs them down, lands on tree limbs and weighs them down. If you remove the sleet component from here, you've got a half an inch, or in some spots maybe more, of glazed ice weighing hundreds of pounds on those power lines, so that when winds pick up, we are expecting, especially in the rural parts of northern Kentucky, to have quite a few power outages. So here it is, Lewis County still getting rain. The pink is the freezing rain. The purple here is the sleet. And then there's snow out here. Now notice the algorithm isn't perfect. If you saw Mike Shell's live shot, you heard the sleet coming down there. That's those little ice pellets that hit, and you can hear them hit like that. Well, this particular model, the algorithm says it's only snow there. So the algorithms aren't perfect, but they give us a really good general idea of what's going on. So over most of southeast Indiana, it's snow with a little bit of sleet mixed in. As you head to the south, it's primarily sleet from Carroll and Gallatin counties, northeastward into Boone, Kent, and Campbell, on into Hamilton, Claremont, Warren, Clinton, and the northern part of Brown counties. And then south of that, of course, that pink is the freezing rain. That's the biggest problem we anticipate is freezing rain from Owen County over into Adams County. Not yet into Lewis County, but overall, even Robertson and most of Mason counties now over to freezing rain. Again, a little bit of everything around the Fox 19 Now viewing area, and it is a monster storm. It extends thousands of miles with millions of people affected. We're not the only ones, and we are talking about a major, major winter storm. The winter storm warning continues. It was issued a couple days ago, continues for the counties here that are colored in pink. The darker counties are now under an ice storm warning. That's an update that was issued this morning. And from Owen to Grant to Pendleton to Bracken, Robertson, Mason, Lewis, Adams, Brown, and Highland counties, there could be enough ice accumulation on tree limbs, on power lines, that trees come down, limbs come down, and power lines come down, causing some widespread power outages as the winds pick up. So we're keeping a very close eye on that. And if that's not enough, the rainfall in the southeastern part of our viewing area was heavy enough that a flood advisory is in effect. We've had no reports of flooding yet, but for the eastern part of Bracken, for all of Robertson, for all of Mason, for the northern part of Lewis, the southern part of Adams, and the far southern part of Brown counties, that flood advisory is in effect. You know, in your neck of the woods, those spots that tend to have high water, be careful, they may have high water for the next few hours. So that's what's going on now. Here's meteorologist Ashley Smith. Ashley, what do you have for us?
Yeah, so we are talking about some of those gusty winds across the area as well, just to add insult to injury. And literally, because you saw Frank out there, Mike Shell also, getting kind of pounded by some of that precipitation. It's those balls of ice, really, and then they're being thrown at them by these breezy winds. So it is not only dangerous to be outside, but it's uncomfortable, too. And I was going to tell Kendall, get some gloves and some hats, because he is out there with some bare skin showing, and I tell you what, this isn't the day to do that. Breezy winds out there will continue through the rest of tonight and tomorrow. Gusts as high as 20 to 25 miles per hour in parts of the tri-state. You combine that with that ice accumulating on those power lines, and that will lead to an even bigger problem, because if those power lines just kind of sit with the ice on top, it's a big enough issue, then they start to sway, and that can really lead to some of those outages. Here's what we're talking about as far as those transition times. You know, we mentioned that on radar it's showing that some of that sleet sleet has changed to snow, and that has not been the case in a lot of those areas. I think we still have several more hours before we do see that some of that sleet change to snow, especially across areas north of Cincinnati. If you're looking in Cincinnati and point south, it may not happen until late tonight or early tomorrow morning before we start to see some of that snowfall. Crews are out there, the road crews, as we've seen from a lot of our live reports, and they are trying to treat those roads, but it's just so difficult when it's ice that's coming down. Now, we are talking about, on average, about 2 to 6 inches of snow falling beginning tonight for many of us and continuing throughout the morning hours tomorrow. I don't think that snow really tapers off until we get into probably 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning before it completely comes to an end. I'm going to break this up into two parts as far as the timeline here with snow. Until midnight tonight, you're looking at 1 to 3, even 4 inches of snow. The further north you go, those higher amounts. But then it keeps snowing after midnight. And through tomorrow morning, you're looking at 1 to 6 inches of snow. Lesser amounts of snow to the south because they're going to see more ice. Higher amounts of snow to the north and less ice. But everybody sees some sort of combination of both. And of course, that's leading to some slick travel outside. We're going to send it to our storm tracker. Frank Marzullo is inside there right now, staying warm. That's why he took his hat off. But Frank, what are you seeing on the roads right now?
Hey, Ashley, yeah, I tell you what, stay off these roads. They are not good. And for me to say that, trust me, they are not good at all. Let's switch the camera there, Mark, if we can. We are in East Hyde Park right now. I will tell you, every business we drove by through Rookwood, through Hyde Park Square, everybody is closed. And this is a look right now at Erie Avenue. And you can see it is completely iced over. And what the biggest difference we have seen over the last, and this from Hyde Park Square to here, this is about the second car I've seen. Look at that guy slide in a little bit right there. The biggest difference I have seen over the last, let's say, 25, 30 minutes is that we're starting to feel, and as much as four-wheel drive's great, you're starting to feel a little bit of a slip going on now. And what that indicates to me is that this is completely freezing over now as that temperature drops. I've got 28 from our real-time digital thermometer here in the storm tracker, 28 outside. And so now we're starting to get that freeze taking place. Many of these systems over the years, you see temperatures warming a little bit. So as it warms, you only have a little pocket of that ice and sleet. This is a different scenario, as Steve and the gang have been talking about. You can see here the Shell gas station over here on the left. You are dealing with that open, so folks still need gas. We're going to cut up through Madisonville here and then get up into areas of Madeira and Montgomery because, as Ashley and Steve have been talking about, the radar algorithm showing a little bit more snow there. But look, I mean, this is completely snow-covered, and I've seen plows, but some of it's just not scraping up. We're going over Red Bank right now. I'm looking down at Red Bank, and I actually see a bus trying to get a little extra traction there. So we're going to make our way up, going up towards the Kenwood Cut right now, though. Rob, Tricia, I understand that you braved the elements. You got on in there. Hopefully you weren't slipping and sliding too much, but we're in this now, guys, and good to see you.
Yeah, Frank, I know that you've been on there since 4 a.m. Frank, when I was coming over from northern Kentucky, there's no like little nice pocket to get into when you're driving. I mean, it's a lot of ice everywhere.
And I drove in from downtown, and all the streets are snow covered, so keep that in mind.
Keep sending us your viewer pics. We love to see them. We love to see what it looks like in your neck of the woods. Video is great. Photos, great. We love it all. Please keep it coming. I mean, a lot of these areas we just can't get to right now.
And, you know, I just checked Duke Energy's outage map. Right now, only 103 customers without power, so that's definitely good news. We'll keep watching those numbers as we move forward.
Stick with us. We'll be right back.
This can't be right.
Trouble with your taxes? I'm April. You know, filing your taxes doesn't have to be complicated. With Tax Act, filing is simple.
Simple? Simple is nice.
And the best part? Getting your max refund to rain down into your pockets. Incoming! Switch to Tax Act and start for free. Tax Act.
All right, thanks for sticking around. We've been on the air all day long with a myriad of our meteorologists and all of our on-air people. We're trying to give you an idea of what it looks like all over the tri-state area because we're all getting pounded by the same system.
So let's take you up to Lebanon, where our Ken Brown is, and he's also on the scene of an overturned tractor trailer. Ken.
Yeah, that's right, guys. I'm actually on 63 headed west towards the Butler County line, but this is still Lebanon, and we're going to get up the hill here. I had passed this scene once, but not really a good place to pull off, stop, and show you what's going on. Lebanon police have responded to this. I'm told it is a truck that went off the side of the road and into a ditch. The original call that somebody was stuck in the truck. The officer that I spoke with briefly as I passed by said that they were able to get the guy out of the truck. Now they're just trying to fish the truck out of the ditch that's stuck there. And as I said, you're going to see the flashing lights, but the road's shut down. So I can't get through to get you much closer, but it looks like Ohio State Highway Patrol may have taken over this scene as Lebanon police cruiser that was posted up here has now left. And you see, obviously, they're directing traffic away from what's going on here. So I'm going to turn onto McClure Road here, but this is where it happened, and I'm told that everybody's okay in all of this. They are just working to get the truck out of the ditch now, but for those of you that live in this Lebanon, Monroe area, 63 is a major throughway, so for the time being, it's shut down. I have feelers out there to try and figure out exactly how long the road's going to be closed for, but as you can see, your detour road around it, not the clearest right now. So if this is a road you travel often, you're someone that has to be out traveling, or you know someone that travels this road often and has to be out traveling, 63 at McClure is shut down right now. Live in Warren County, Ken Brown, Fox 19 Now.
And you can see those roads are pretty much snow covered.
For years, we tell you, stay off the side roads. It's the side roads that are untreated.
Yeah.
It's all of the roads right now. Now, the main roads, you can see the tire tracks, so where like the, the big snow plows have gone through. But those like divots from like tire tracks are really quickly filled up.
Correct. And the other thing is, as it's actively snowing, really crews won't treat the roads until it stops snowing. So there's still snow in the forecast, so it might be a while. Hopefully, you're watching us from home.
You mean like spring? Right? Hey, here's a live look at the Duke Energy outage map. You're in pretty good shape unless you are one of the few that are affected right now. Duke Energy is working on overtime right now, making sure that everybody has some juice.
Hopefully your kids are home from school and they can go out and enjoy the snow, and hopefully you're sending us those pictures.
We do appreciate them.
Yeah.
Even the video, anything that you can snap in the backyard, and even if you think, oh, they've been showing that all day, show us some more. Trevor, you got some more?
Yeah, they keep rolling in, guys, and this is real fun to see because some of our kids playing out in the ice, taking their sled out down the backyard. But let's check in across the tri-state. This is in Oldenburg, Indiana, Franklin County, just north of Batesville. You can see they're the ones that have been getting a lot of snow, and that's what's headed our way. So you can see a lot of snow there, but those roads looking pretty good down Main Street there in Oldenburg. Beautiful little town there. Kenwood Town Center, check it out here. Like Tricia was saying, you can see where the trucks in front of you have been. Those roads, you can tell they're trying to clear them, but gosh, you're just coming down so quickly that can't always keep them pristine condition. And then finally, don't know where this is from. Couldn't tell you where, but it's kind of cute, right? An Iceman, not a snowman right now, Iceman. But that guy, something tells me he's going to be pretty solid over the next couple of hours. We'll set it to break right now. We'll be back in just a few moments. If you'd like to submit photos, scan that QR code, take you right to our website.
This can't be right.
Trouble with your taxes? I'm April. You know, filing your taxes doesn't have to be complicated. With Tax Act, filing is simple.
Simple? Simple is nice.
And the best part? Getting your max refund to rain down into your pockets. Incoming! Switch to Tax Act and start for free.
All right, we're going to stick with you all through this on this First Alert Weather Day.
I think Frank said it best earlier. He says, we're in the middle of it.
We are. Steve.
Yeah, well, Frank's been on the air for 12 hours now.
I know.
So it's a testament to his energy. As far as the weather goes, the only place you've been able to get all the information you need whenever you need it is right here, because we've been on the air since 4 a.m. bringing you the latest. Okay, we have a map showing you that there will be some heavy snow accumulations and, of course, ice. Now, this model has over an inch of ice in our southern rural counties where there's an ice storm warning. If we pull out the sleet part of that and just look, and our computers can't display that, but just look at the freezing rain accumulation model, you would see that there's more than a half an inch of ice. A half an inch of ice on one of those big power lines that stretches for 100 feet or so weighs 100 pounds or more, and when you get a little wind, that can bring that wire down. Now, let's take a little bit closer look here at the accumulation map. And you can see that all this in red is freezing rain. Now, there will be some accumulation on top of that, but because the freezing rain continues so long, the accumulations will be held down. The band of sleet just north of it will also keep the accumulations down, but we can see on top of that sleet between 1 and 4 inches, the 4-inch line going through Hillsborough, Mount Orb, down to north of Batavia, right through the Florence area, right through southern part of Ohio County. And then the 6-inch line should go just about through downtown Cincinnati or a little bit north of that. So if you're in Wilmington, if you're in the Morrow area of Warren County, if you're in Loveland, if you're in Norwood, if you're in Lawrenceburg or Versailles, you're likely to see 6 inches of snow on top of what's coming down now. So that's after the ice is over, there's more snow. And up to the north, there's the potential for up to 8 inches in the white area here, but I think it's going to be more like 6 to 8, with 7 being the average. So here's it. Here's the current situation. Notice Lewis County beginning to go over to a mix of rain and freezing rain. All the pink is freezing rain, which is now south of Hillsborough. Eagle Township still getting some freezing rain. And then again, as you head on into northern Kentucky, it's beginning to head south in northern Kentucky. Now remember, this is an algorithm. It's not completely 100% accurate all the time. And so let's say you're in Flingsville. It says sleet. Well, there might be a mix of freezing rain, sleet, and snow, because whenever you're right on the edge, it's kind of hard for the algorithm to tell. So southeast Indiana, mostly snow. That looks like that snow is mostly into Hamilton County. We saw Mike Shell's live before. There was still sleet mixed in with the snow, and the winds were picking up. So that's not a good situation. From Carrollton over into Switzerland and Ohio counties in southeast Indiana through the Warsaw area up into Boone, Kenton, and Campbell, it is sleet. And then as you head, of course, in this area, this is the worst part. This is the part we're most worried about, because where all that ice is where you can end up with quite a bit of problems. So the ice storm warning in effect for Highland, Brown, Adams, Lewis, Mason, Robertson, Bracken, Pendleton, Grant, and Owen counties. That's where the biggest threat of power outages is. Everybody else under a winter storm warning. Meteorologist Ashley Smith is in the Weather Center with more. Ashley, take it to you now.
Yeah, we are talking about, as you mentioned there, that some areas are already transitioning over to snow while others have been dealing with the ice for hours. I just looked outside. Actually, I didn't have to look outside. I could hear. It's still ice here, no doubt about that. And, we also combine a little bit of some breezy winds with that ice, and it just really creates a problem if you have to be outside at all. So kudos to all the crews that are out there trying to keep those roads clear, and they're going to have an ongoing situation through the rest of today and tomorrow morning. So that ice continues in some locations for several more hours before it transitions over to snow. And then we are talking about snow continuing through much of tomorrow morning before it tapers off early tomorrow afternoon, and then really cold air behind this system, some of the coldest air we've seen in years. As far as the ice accumulation, as you look further off to the south, it's going to be more ice, less snow, as much as 3/4 of an inch of ice in some of those areas, about 1/2 of an inch kind of on average, and lesser amounts to the north because it is going to be more snow and less ice. As far as how much snow we see, as we move through the rest of today, you're talking about 1 to 3, even 4 inches of snow the further north you go, and then we add to it tomorrow morning. So if you're wondering, can I get out on the roads tomorrow? Well, they're not going to be completely clear. There's no doubt about that, because we're talking about really cold air, and we're talking about snow continuing through much of the morning hours. But by the time it's all said and done, about 2 to 6 inches on average will fall across the tri-state, as we've been talking about the heavier amounts to the north, lesser amounts further off to the south off because it's going to be more ice there and less snow. Look at these temperatures. So we're talking about, as I mentioned, some of the coldest air in several years. We're going to be below zero for the actual temperature Saturday morning, and it is going to not warm up a whole lot by the afternoon. As a matter of fact, all of this ice and snow that hasn't been shoveled, it is going to stick around all the way through at least Saturday, and then by Sunday afternoon, we finally see those highs climbing above freezing, although barely, as we will only be in the mid-30s. So we stay very cold for the next several days. Highs in the 20s for Friday and Saturday, highs in the mid-30s for Sunday and Monday, and then finally seeing a bit of a warming trend as we head into the middle of the week with those highs climbing into the mid to upper 40s. So a little bit of improvement by the middle of next week, but that's a ways away. We have to get through the rest of this storm first. And the latest details pertaining to that storm, even closures, the latest school and business closures, always available using the free First Alert weather app. Give it a download while we head to break.
This can't be right.
Trouble with your taxes? I'm April. You know, filing your taxes doesn't have to be complicated. With Tax Act, filing is simple.
Simple? Simple is nice.
And the best part? Getting your max refund to rain down into your pockets. Incoming! Switch to Tax Act and start for free.
I think we're trying to show you what it looks like in other neighborhoods. You know what it looks like outside of your window, but we're showing you what it looks like across Tri-State.
There aren't a lot of places open today, so
Right.
if you do have to go to the store or something like that, you might want to call ahead and make sure it's even open because so many places are closed. There are some businesses where people have to go into work today.
That's right.
That's why we're trying to give you an idea what the roads look like.
Frank Marzullo is in Madera now. Frank, what are the conditions there?
Well, I mean, this is Miami Road. This is a big, it's a side road, but it's a big cut through from coming up from Marymount or coming out of Indian Hill, going over to Kenwood. There's nobody here. I mean, it's desolate. I wanted to come over here. Look at this. So this right here, show this down here. So there's no ice really on this. It's a little looser. Look at how thick this is. I mean, you have to get into there here to get that ice off. This sign, my hand is rubbing up against it, and we got ice that's coming right off of it. You can see cracking there. But look at these guys here. You got to have a little fun in it. What's your names, man?
My name's Braden.
Braden.
Isaac.
So what's this called? Street skiing?
Yeah, we were a little bored today, and we decided that we were gonna try to ski down the road.
Okay, and how's that working out for you?
It was working pretty well.
Yeah.
A little bit of puddles.
Okay.
Pretty slushy.
Why don't you start doing your thing there? You got the sled. You do your thing. Let's see you. Let's see you there. We're here in the Kroger parking lot, and I will tell you, this Kroger in Madeira is open, which is good news for us if you do need some groceries. But hopefully you got it because we do not want you going out here. Look at how much. Good job, Braden. Look at how much. Come over here. How much slush is down in here. I mean, this looks like one of those, what is it, those Kona ice trucks that you get for your kids' parties and stuff, or your neighborhood party. Look at that. That is all slush, and this is all going to freeze here tonight. There is no doubt. So these roads, and you look at here, and this is mainly sleet accumulation. I will say I have seen a little bit of a change in the air here, of a little bit more of a snowflake from time to time, but still, this is mainly a sleet situation here. As you look out over the roadway, I did see a plow come down through here just a few moments ago, but it has not done much. This slush is all going to freeze. And look at how hard it is to get a little traction there. They have traction with the four-wheel drive, but if you're driving at a faster rate of speed, it is a no-go for you. But we have found one business here, the one Kroger in here. I'm going to actually walk in here in a second, and just I bet you there's nothing on the shelves. Pretty much bare there. Maybe a bottle of wine or something, but probably no bread or ice. I tell you, though, these are the people that work hard right here. Check this out, Mark. Right there, you got the UPS folks, our mail carriers. They get it done, especially during some of these tough times. We're going to have much more coverage here on this big weather event as the Fox 19 now, I was going to say morning news, but I guess we're now the midday news continues.
Fox 19 now. This is a breaking news alert.
Thank you for sticking around on this First Alert Weather Day. It's kind of a mess out there. Your kids are probably home. Maybe you're working from home. If you have to go to the store, think twice. At least call ahead of time. Make sure that they're open. Frank did find a Kroger that was open.
It was open in Madeira, but to get there might be kind of difficult. And I'm checking Duke's energy page, and right now 243 customers without power. Not a very high number considering what we're dealing with.
Now, roadways, when we say a mess, you're kind of thinking, oh, they're blown out of proportion. We're really not.
No.
There's a lot of sleet, slushy, gross stuff on the roadways. And even when the snowplow comes through and moves it, it takes minutes for it to fill back up, and it just fills those little indentations, and then you're slipping and sliding all over the place again.
And the thing is, the story's not getting any better because the temperature is dropping like a rock, right, Steve?
That's absolutely correct, and the temperature is going to stay on the cold side for a while. I'm going to start off here with the 7-day forecast and then throw it over to Ashley, who will have the latest on snow accumulations and that for you. But we talk about what's going on now, but it's important, of course, that you know what's going to go on in the future. Now, the snow, sleet, and freezing rain continue to come down around the tri-state. I've got a low of 18 and a high of 24 in the forecast for Friday. Friday's a First Alert Weather Day. Saturday's not a First Alert Weather Day. I forgot to take the badge off there. But we do drop to 3 below zero. The high temperature about 23 degrees. So tomorrow morning, the snow will continue to come down. We're looking at it continuing to accumulate a little and then tapering off and ending. But tomorrow morning is not going to be much better than it is out there right now. With a low of 3 below zero, anything else that comes our way is going to freeze over. So Saturday morning, still some traffic issues, the high 23, and then we go into some calmer weather. Not much going on from Sunday on into Thursday of next week. Plenty of sunshine to partly cloudy skies, so it calms down, no big storms coming our way, and stays seasonably chilly until we get into Wednesday and Thursday there, where temperatures go above freezing. Now we're going to go over to the Weather Center and meteorologist Ashley Smith. Ashley, what have you been watching for us?
Yeah, we're still seeing a lot of precipitation falling right now, and we've been mentioning that even though the radar tries to tell you where we're seeing snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain, it has been a little bit off, and the problem is it's probably looking a little too high up in the atmosphere because we actually have some warmer air just before it gets to the surface. Temperatures right now here at home are in the 20s, so it is below freezing for everyone, but this snow, sleet kind of mix that you're seeing off to the northwest of Cincinnati, still a lot of ice in the mix, meaning that most of that is falling in the form of sleet. What's happening in downtown Cincinnati? It's still sleet, and we're talking about some really heavy, kind of big balls of ice that are falling right now and, of course, accumulating across much of the region. As you look further off to the southeast across a large portion of northern Kentucky, Adams, Brown County, all of these counties where you're seeing kind of this pink shading, that's really where they're included in that ice storm warning because they're going to see a much larger impact from the ice compared to the snow. Now, in many areas, that snow will not start to transition until we get into later this evening or early tomorrow morning because we still have that warmer air above the surface. So that's the problem with that changeover. It's why it hasn't happened recently. Now, Tricia was just asking me, is this the same storm system in New York? Well, not only is it the same storm system in New York, look at this. It's extending all the way to the New England states, down into, of course, the tri-state, into Texas. I mean, this is a large storm system. It is massive and causing really big issues across a large portion of the country. Winds are going to remain very strong through tonight and tomorrow, gusting at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Not only does that make it feel colder, but it also can move some of that precipitation around. It can move those heavy power lines that have been seeing that ice accumulate, tree limbs, that kind of thing. So really not a good deal there. We're going to continue to watch some of that ice change over to snow later this evening into tomorrow morning. And we're talking about quite a bit of snow. As a matter of fact, let me show you those snowfall totals right now. This is going to take you through midnight tonight, and we're talking about an accumulation of maybe 1 to 3, even 4 inches further off to the north, only until midnight. So that's just through the next, say, several hours, let's say 8, 9 hours. Then we move into tomorrow morning. The snow continues, and by the time it's all said and done, we're talking about 2 to 4 inches of snow across the entire tri-state. It's enough on top of that ice to cause issues for really several days because you know some of those side roads they don't get around to for a couple of days. So it's just going to be an ongoing issue, that's for sure, around the tri-state, but definitely bearing the brunt of it right now across really everybody that can watch me right now. You're seeing some impact from this storm. I'm going to send it over to Rob and Tricia to talk more about our team coverage.
Hey, Ashley, we're talking about the even the weight of what's coming down, Ashley.
Oh, it's so heavy. Did you shovel? I shoveled some of that ice today. It was a workout.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, and it's landing on all these power lines, which is a problem.
Correct, and that's why we've been checking power outages for you. We're seeing about 53 customers without power in Dry Run. That's in Hamilton County near Anderson Township.
Andrea Medina is over that part of town. Andrea, what are you seeing over there?
Hey guys, yeah, so we're actually on Capitol Drive, which is a very residential area. And as you mentioned, 53 homes are still without power, but I'm going to step out of the frame to give you a better look at what's going on. And you can see Duke Energy crews braving the weather as they try to restore electricity in this neighborhood. Crews out here tell me that the wind and that the weight of the ice cubes that's falling down is responsible for snapping a treetop and then bringing down some power lines. Again, you can see crews out there wearing those yellow neon vests, working very hard and getting it done during this very, cold temperatures. I mean, the elements out here are no joke, obviously. But they were telling me earlier when I talked to them a couple minutes ago was that what makes this even more challenging was just the fact that since it is in a residential area, they're not able to bring their trucks back here. Typically they say that a job like this would take them maybe an hour to get done, but they've been here for numerous hours. They said that they've been here since early afternoon, and they believe they'll be done within the next hour. But again, crews are out here trying to restore power. They said that they've been able to restore power in parts of this neighborhood already. They say that at least 250 homes were out power, and now it's down to 53. So I mean, slowly and surely they're trying to get the work done. But again, we're going to keep our eye out here. We're going to remain here and keep tabs of all the neighborhoods that are without power right now. We're live in Dry Run. Andrea Medina, Fox 19 Now.
And we did talk with Sally Phelan, who is with Duke Energy earlier this week, and they brought an extra crews to make sure that they can handle power outages.
Yeah, and Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear was saying yesterday that that's one of the problems in Kentucky. He was saying that it was coming, and we're going to have a lot of outages and stuff like that. So far, not so much in the bluegrass state
Yeah, totally.
right now.
And we do want to say this. Our colleague has been working on TV since 4 o'clock this morning.
And he's still happy and like energetic. Frank, are you what? How? Frank, how are you doing this?
Can we have a moment for a second?
Yeah.
Can we have a moment?
Yes.
You said I told you I was at that Kroger parking lot.
Did you get wine?
This is for later.
I told Rob, I said, if there's one bottle of wine on that shelf, the man's going to find it.
Frank is going to find it. Where are you now, and what conditions are you seeing, Frank?
Here. Well, let's switch the camera over here, Mark. We're coming over to Montgomery Road right now. We're on Kenwood Road. I want to make my way down over towards the Silverton area where 71 goes through. We understand the interstate is shut down right now due to an accident. This primarily is sleet accumulation. If you look right here, you can see that plow right ahead of us. Look at all of that coming off the roadway, and yet still there's a coating of ice underneath the Kenwood Road right here. And we're going to go through this light, Mark, and then we're going to make a left. I feel like a GPS here, too. And we're going to make a left on Montgomery Road here and try to get our way down to Silverton, maybe over to the Stewart overpass to see if we can see this interstate shut down. But you can see the Kenwood Mall area is basically vacant. The tire discounter's open. I guess that's a good thing to have open during travel weather issues. But look at all of that sleet. Yep, a left right here. All of that sleet that is coming up, an accumulation that has fallen on this roadway. Primarily, this remains a sleeting event, but it has fallen at such a huge rate that it looks like just inches of snow, and technically it's frozen precipitation. Yes, we get that. But this is all going to glaze over and freeze over. And I mean, there's plows out here, guys, but it is really, really a tough go of it. And I can only imagine if there was regular traffic on here, how much we would be slipping and sliding. We're going southbound right now on Montgomery Road. And as we get over to Stewart here, we're going to try to get a look at the Interstate 71 that is shut down here this afternoon. Don't forget, the First Alert Weather app continues to keep you updated on air and online throughout the day. We'll take a quick break. Be back right after this.
It really doesn't matter where you live. You're being affected by this weather.
You are. We've been everywhere. We've been to Indiana. We've been over to Ohio, over in Kentucky. Now we're going to go back to Indiana.
Yeah, Mike Shell's there telling us what it looks like there, Mike.
Yeah, Rob, here in Dearborn County, still waiting to see snow flurries. Still ice pellets hitting us here with a pretty strong wind. This is downtown Aurora. Just a couple of cars going by here within the last hour. Only one set of footprints on the sidewalk. I think people are taking the notion that, hey, if you're going to go out, you're going to drive. You're not going to walk around. Now, Ripley, Dearborn, Franklin counties under an orange alert. That means essential travel is only allowed for things like the work, grocery store, gas stations, doctor's office, and Ohio County is now in an orange alert. Yellow alert for Switzerland County, which is less restrictive. So we are at the intersection of 3rd and Mechanic in Aurora, and pretty level here. But how would you guys like to live up 4th Street and 5th Street in Aurora and come down that in the morning? No, thank you. We are live in Dearborn County. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, I think that's scary. It's scary going up that hill. It's worse coming down. I live on a really steep hill.
Yeah.
And, woo, it is, white knuckle going down that hill.
And the thing is all the roads look like that right now, so just keep that in mind.
All right, here's your power outage map right now. We told you Andrea's over there near Anderson Township. She said there's like 50 or so people without power. In Erlanger, Kentucky, close to 100 homes are without power right now.
Yeah, we're going to keep following these numbers for you. They are on the low side, considering we've been dealing with ice. That usually contributes to power outages that are widespread.
A lot of times we tell you to stay off of the side roads because the side roads are the ones that never get the love and attention. Just stay on the main roads. This isn't necessarily the case today.
That's right. Frank Marzullo is showing you why you should stay inside your house if you can, because you're seeing an accident, correct?
Yeah, so what I want to do here, let's switch over the storm tracker. We are coming up on it here. We got our camera switched over. This is 71 southbound, so we're right at Red Bank. The interstate was shut down. However, they have opened up one lane, and we're going to come up on this in just a moment here. It's a semi-tractor trailer that looks, from the images I saw from some of the cameras, looks as if it's spun a little bit here, because you can see, look at the left lanes here of 71 southbound, and they are completely iced over and snow covered. You have a little bit more of a slushy wetness here, but what we're going to do here, we're going to come in here. This is now open to one lane. They have one lane open, and you'll see this here in just a few seconds as we come around the bend here this afternoon, and that whole left side is just completely iced over and snow covered. Look at all the emergency lights that are coming up here. You've got fire. You have Hamilton County Sheriff here, and here you go. I think we have an image of this here. Again, they have opened up one lane to get traffic through, but you're going to see that this tractor trailer did kind of a jackknife here. Are we able to, does that turn a little bit there? First time in the storm tracker. But you can see right here, yeah, I think you can see it right here. Let me turn it right there a little bit. Look at that. That whole thing jackknifed and went right up against the wall here this afternoon. So it's not just the side roads, folks, and we know that the crews have been keeping things salted as much as they can. But when you have this type of precipitation falling at this rate, it is really tough to stay on it. We are going south, coming up on Ridge Avenue and Kennedy Avenue. We'll be making our way back into the city as the Fox 19 Now afternoon broadcast continues. Guys?
That one road looks good. And it's a reminder as it's probably driving you crazy too, that windshield wiper. Change your blades.
Correct.
You know, because I mean, you never know when you're going to need it.
Yeah.
And you know, we need a new one on there.
We'll tell Frank and the storm tracker to like increase the pace of the windshield wiper because it is hard to see.
But you know, Stephen and Ashley, it's one of those things you never think of that kind of stuff until you really need it. Yeah.
What happened to me last winter, I scraped my windshield and I left and I turned my windshield wipers and the one blade went flying out into the
Oh my.
So you got to keep those up to date.
Here's the question. The situation right now is not good in terms of the roads, major roads or back roads. What are we going to be dealing with moving forward?
Well, Ashley, let's do thumbs up or thumbs down. What do you think? I think two thumbs down. Yeah, it's going to get worse as we continue on. Now, we've been talking all afternoon, have a lot of requests of, hey, you're talking about sleet and freezing rain. What's the difference? Well, this is what sleet looks like when it falls on your deck. Okay, it's little ice balls. They start out frozen. They go through a warm layer of air. They refreeze in cold air near the surface into little ice pellets, and that's what sleet is. The good thing about sleet is it's not much different than driving in snow when it piles up. However, when you shovel it, an inch of sleet weighs more than an inch of snow. The big problem, the one that causes more problems than anything, is the freezing rain. Now, freezing rainfalls is liquid. Okay, so when it gets down to the ground, it hits a colder than freezing surface like this. It spreads out and then freezes. And so that's what this is. It's called glaze in meteorological terminology. But this heavy, clear ice is a big problem because it is very heavy. It's as slippery as things can get when it freezes on the ground. And then again, with the weight, it weighs down tree limbs, it weighs down power lines. When the winds pick up, hundreds of pounds of ice weigh down those lines, and that's what brings down power lines and causes widespread outages. Okay, now the situation we have now, we've got a cold front that's come through the area. Look at all the watches and warnings in behind that in the cold air. That cold air in 3 dimensions is actually a dome, and if you look at it this way, here's that dome of cold air. Warm air goes up and over it, so above this, it's warmer than freezing. The precipitation falls through that warmer than freezing layer and then begins to refreeze. If it falls all the way down and doesn't melt, it's snow. If it begins to fall, it melts and then refreezes into little ice pellets, it's sleet. And the slightly warmer air, it reaches the ground as liquid but hits those cold surfaces and freezes. That's freezing rain. And then, of course, what we had all day yesterday in the warmer air ahead of the front was rainfall. And that's what we're going through. So that's the progression. Yesterday, early today, later today, tonight into Friday as that cold air continues to move into the tri-state. Okay, we're looking at this as far as ice accumulation goes. This is both the sleet and the freezing rain. But if you take the sleet out of it, we can't display that. We don't have that in our computer system. But you'll have at least a half an inch of ice in our southern counties with winds picking up and gusting to 30 miles an hour. That's the formula for big problems as far as power outages go. And again, here is our latest accumulation map. Ashley and I have been looking at this for days, and we've just updated this recently. And here's what we think. Freezing rain in the red will be the main issue. Now, there will be some snow on top of it, but that freezing rain keeps the accumulation down. North of that, a band of sleet. But when you get into the sleet, you can see from 1 to 4 inches of snow on top of it. And then when you get into Cincinnati Metro, so let's say from Florence north and northern Kentucky, all this area, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of snow, with the possibility that Connorsville, Liberty, College Corner, and maybe Oxford sees up to 8 inches of snow, and that's by Friday morning. So as temperatures continue to fall, as the ice transitions to snow, road conditions just don't get any better. Now, the roads that are being treated, and the crews will work hard and keep them as good as they can, but those untreated surfaces, residential streets, Big problems and very slippery. Okay, we're beginning to see the transition take place now in Lewis County. Still a little bit of rain in Mason County, but you can see the progression here. Rain, here's the freezing rain, here's the sleet in purple, and blue is the snow. And we've had a number of a bunch of information from viewers that, hey, the radar is showing all snow here, but we've got sleet mixed in. Well, in a situation like this, the algorithm isn't perfect, and so it's not surprising you get sleet where it says snow or a mix of sleet and snow. However, it just means bad conditions will continue. So there you see it. It's mostly snow over southeast Indiana with some sleet mixed in spots. To the south is the main sleet area. South of that, we have the freezing rain part, and that's where we expect the biggest problems. That's the part of Kentucky that Governor Beshear mentioned earlier, that they're expecting some major power outages. So be aware, in our viewing area, that may also occur. So here's the storm. If we look at the big, it goes from Texas to Maine into Canada. Millions of Americans affected by this storm. The winter storm warning continues in the pink counties. They were in the winter storm warning for a couple days. The ice storm warning, which was issued earlier today and is new, includes Owen, Grant, Pendleton, Bracken, Robertson, Mason, Lewis, Adams, Brown, and Highland counties. Those counties may see enough ice to cause widespread power outages and down to tree limbs. And one other thing, if we don't have enough, a flood advisory is in effect for Robertson, parts of the eastern part of Bracken, Mason, northern Lewis, southern Adams, and far southern Brown counties. The rain there was heavy enough earlier that those spots that tend to have high water in your neck of the woods may have some high water also. Now we go over to meteorologist Ashley Smith, who's in the Weather Center. Ashley?
Yeah, so we are talking about that transition over, and people are really sick of those ice pellets, the sleet that's falling. In some locations, it's still going to take several more hours before that transition occurs. As a matter of fact, there's some indication that it might not be until late tonight that we see that transition for some of us. Now, north of the city, we're starting to see some of that snow, but I know, as Steve mentioned, some of our viewers that are in those locations are saying, hey, even though your radar is showing snow, it's not all snow. There is a bit of a mix right now. We should be able to change that over to all snow later this evening, but the snow continues into tomorrow morning. So you're talking about accumulations of about 2 to 6 inches across parts of the area by the time it's all said and done. And that's just snow on top of some of that ice. Through midnight, you're talking about 1.5 inches in Florence, a little more than 1 inch in Alexandria. These are projected totals. They could change. And then 2 to 4 inches further off to the north of snow. Now, these have come down a little bit. Here's the deal. This model is kind of updating its information, its projection of that snow, as we get more of the data in from what is happening right now. And so it's noticing that further off to the north, that ice is sticking around longer. So it's cutting down on the snow totals a bit. Not by much, though, because look at this. You're still talking about that 2 to 6 inches by the time it's all said and done. And I don't think that snow tapers off until probably tomorrow afternoon. Very cold Saturday. We want to make sure that you know about that, because here's the deal. Once we get through the snow tomorrow, we're not done with this blast of winter weather, because then it gets downright cold. However, the good news is it is dry, it looks like, through much of next week. Hey, stay tuned. We're coming back with much more team coverage on this winter storm right after the break.
We are not done yet with the weather or these broadcasts. Take a look at this. All morning and afternoon, we've been showing you pictures and videos from across the tri-state. This was taken by a viewer in Dearborn County.
This one was taken in Bright, also in Dearborn County. You can send us your pictures or video. I love video. On our website or on our free mobile news app. You can also take out your phone right now. You can point it in the direction of that QR code. Open up your camera. It's going to take you right to it. You can just dump it right there.
Yeah, I like looking at that too.
It's pretty.
How are you guys doing?
You know, we're fresh compared to
Yeah.
some of these other crews,
Yeah.
so we're okay.
I didn't get into 11, so
Yeah.
I mean, Frank's been going for
4 o'clock.
15 hours now or something like that. So.
All right, so the worst is not even close to being over at this point.
Right, and I just got notice that they've extended that flood advisory for our southeastern counties, so that would be Robertson, Lewis, parts of Mason, Brown, and Adams. There's still the possibility for some stream flooding down that way, on top of all the other stuff.
Yeah. We'll be talking about river flooding next week probably,
Well,
or at
so-
least it going high.
What can the most of us expect over the next evening?
Okay, this evening we're going to transition over to snow. Several inches of snow by tomorrow morning, and then it just gets cold.
Very cold. Coldest air since, do you guys remember this? January of 2019. I think it was the last day, January 31st. It was-
I don't remember.
I don't remember it really well, but I bet you there's a picture of me outside in it.
I'm sure.
Probably with a ruler or something
Probably
like
with
that.
some sort of ruler. I
Yeah.
bet
Well,
you're
you know,
right.
and all of those businesses, a lot of them are closed down today. Grocery stores. You know, Frank did find a Kroger over in Madeira.
Yeah.
But a lot of places are just closed down today. A lot of schools are closed down. Tomorrow is going to be the same thing. You guys agree with that?
Oh,
one?
absolutely.
Yes,
I can't
definitely.
see many schools being open tomorrow at all.
Especially the ones with bus service.
Right.
Just do it again Monday.
All right, let's toss it over to Chris Riva, who's helping us cover this weather event.
Well, Rob, you said it best, right? We're not done yet. We're going to continue to cover the big story today as we're actually getting pelted right now. We're going to show you the conditions of the road and exactly what you're dealing with if you're going to get out in this storm as our coverage will continue right after this.
I love the
We're all
hat.
having a discussion about
I
this
love
hat, right? And Chris Riva's hat has become a thing on this show.
The funniest thing is we're all like walking off and we're looking like, look at that hat. And they're like, oh, wait a minute, we can come right back.
It's a warm hat, so it's a good hat.
Yes. Correct. And it had a bill. Very smart.
It's like Elmer Fudd.
I like a guy that is so self-confident that he'll wear a hat like that.
Yeah. Remember when he had Jeremy's hat? That
Yes, yes.
What a dubious honor. If you're that confident, you can wear that. Oh, whoa.
We have much more winter weather coverage.
You're not going to wear a
straight
hat
ahead.
like that, are you?
No.
I would.
I
It looks
do.
good.
I love hats every day.
We'll be right back.